I watch as Dame Judi Dench eats her chilled corn soup with saffron and sips champagne. At 82, she is just as elegant as you would imagine, with silver hair, ice blue eyes and crisp diction. She's 5'1", but her reputation is towering. Ms. Dench is one of the greatest British actresses, a star alum of the Royal Shakespeare Company, Sally Bowles in the London production of Cabaret, and an Oscar winner for her 8-minute turn as Queen Elizabeth I in Shakespeare in Love. She died in James Bond's arms, as the murdered spy Master M, and she has portrayed so many queens on stage and screen that when she plays a duchess, it seems like a demotion. So what to talk about with this regal creature? Well, what else? Lingerie, tattoos, rap music, younger men, sex, and her hobby of embroidering cushions with raunchy sayings. This dame, as it turns out, is full of mischief. Ms. Dench got an Oscar nomination 20 years ago for playing Victoria in Mrs. Brown, the saga of how the Queen grew close to a younger man, a servant who doted on her after her beloved Albert died, outraging her household. Now she is back in Oscar contention for Victoria and Abdul, the saga of how the Queen grew close to another younger man, also a servant who doted on her after the other one died, again outraging her household. The first of the forbidden relationships was with John Brown, a tall, rugged Scotsman nicknamed the Queen's Stallion, 7 years her junior. As Julia Baird wrote in Victoria the Queen, Victoria was so ensorcelled by the handsome Brown that she asked to be buried with a lock of his hair and a leather case full of his photos in her hand. His handkerchief was also placed on top of her body, alongside Albert S. The second entanglement, with the added complications of race relations in the colonial age, was with Abdul Karim, a 24-year-old Indian Muslim servant who became the 68-year-old monarch's munshi, or teacher, instructing her on Urdu, the Quran and mangoes. Ms. Dench is far more padded as the older Victoria. She was 46 inches around her waist, and she wasn't tall, the actress told me. It was difficult to go to the loo. Impossible, actually. Both movies begin with the small, round Queen, widowed after having 9 children with Albert, dyspeptic and stony-faced, miserable and in mourning with her black veil, only to show her brightening and melting under the sometimes impertinent ministrations of her attractive younger servants. Even though her name became a synonym for priggishness, I observe, Victoria was a sexy little thing, wasn't she? We are not amused, Ms. Dench says with faux hauteur, offering the line associated with Victoria. Comparing the Queen to the interior of a tree, Ms. Dench loves trees, she said. She had a huge passion and need inside her. She had a happy life with Albert and then those years with John Brown, and then I'm sure she'd certainly given up by then and was just caught up in the drudgery of everything. And suddenly, that wonderful kind of flowering, where she thought, this is really something worth living for. She said she understands that heady state well, discovering someone you can laugh with and learn from. As a person, she said, I'm very, very susceptible. For 60 years, I've fallen in love with people. Is there any advantage in women getting involved with subordinates? She said they could get smitten with the dustman, the postman, the butcher or the prime minister. It happens to be about the people. I ask Ms. Dench about her younger man. This is where I get up and throw the table down and sweep out, she said with a puckish smile, pounding the table. Actually, she's quite open about her new beau and he's with her in New York. Ms. Dench's husband of nearly 30 years, the actor Michael Williams, who sent her a red rose every Friday, died of lung cancer in 2001. She met David Mills, a conservationist, in 2010 when he invited her to help open a new red squirrel enclosure at the wildlife centre he runs near her home in Surrey, England. He is 74. And she prefers to call him a jolly nice chap rather than a partner. Despite losing some eyesight to macular degeneration, Ms. Dench still seems elfin, determined to focus on the pluses. I tell her that I read a recent interview in Radio Times with Jenny Dugarry that she pointed the reporter in the direction of a lovely naughty knicker shop in Covent Garden but told her not to buy everything there because she was going to. I like it, Ms. Dench conceded to me about lingerie. but I don't think about it. She also told Ms. Dugarry that older people should never give up on sex, noting that of course, you still feel desire. I ask about her tattoos. She had Swarovski crystal body art spelling out 007 on her shoulder for a Bond gala and premieres, and had Carpe Diem engraved on the inside of her wrist in Street. Martins for her 81st birthday at the urging of her daughter, Findy. Most memorably, she etched a message on her bum.